Yes, so well, I guess firstly, my pronouns he or him, and I'm respectfully acknowledging the traditional custodians of this land, which is the Camaragal people. You mentioned Ability Options, and yes, so my name's Shane Brooks. I'm the Community Engagement Manager here at Ability Options, and my role is to really kind of, I guess, network and maintain our stakeholder management between our allied health, both employer and, I guess, non-vocational and vocational kind of partnerships to help really footprint our presence within our service areas to really provide a good overall, here we go, service for all of our clients that we have. Hang on one second. Can everybody see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. Well, firstly, I'd really like to thank Amber, Sophie, Sam, and Chris. I've been taking notes through the whole morning. It's been really fantastic, kind of hearing everybody's journey and taking notes. So it's been really great. There are some crossover stats that I do have that it's already been covered from the team this morning as well. So I'll kind of try and get through that as quick as I can. And thank you to Denise and Ivan as well for putting this together and getting everybody together. I think it's been a really good, really informative morning, and I've been taking quite a lot of notes myself. So yes, so change to ensure access to meaningful and sustainable employment. So a little bit about, sorry, I'll go into this. How do I go at the top here? Hang on one second.
Go into the slideshow on the top, yeah.
Sorry. Okay, ready to go. Changing. Here we go. So look a little bit about Ability Options. Not-for-profit organisation. We've an organisation that's actually split into a lot of different services, which is fantastic for us to kind of talk and communicate within the communities. But a little bit about the company. It was established in 1976 by the late Greg McIntyre. Originated as a union between Rotary Club of Guildford and the New South Wales Health Commission. Initially, this pairing enabled people with intellectual disability to move from large institutions into their own home. And since the inception of Ability Options, we've constantly strived for a greater impact in society and the community at large. At present, we really aim to make a difference in people's lives, assisting them into achieving their goals. Within the community, we've got a large range, which I'll branch into shortly, but we cover across 90 sites across New South Wales. We bear over, I think we're up to 1,300 employees now. Through employment, we've successfully placed over 20,000 people since 2015, matching the right people to the right jobs. And that's something that we really kind of focus on as a really key deliverable here at Ability, making sure that the individualised support is there working with our clients to get them in the right kind of fit. Our work is truly characterised by our strong vision, continuous mission and universal values. We keep the people that we support in the centre of our hard work, providing disability employment services across New South Wales. Now, we're quite big on our mission value and we live and breathe it here at Ability. So a little bit about that is, with our mission, we strive to support people who need assistance to achieve their aspirations and inclusion within the community. Our vision, really focusing on service excellence. We're committed to high quality staff providing excellent services, really focusing on that benchmark of international standards of best practice, making sure that we can really engage with the employer and our participants to get them in the right type of employment. Ability Options will expand in terms of growth. Really important, which is a big part of what I do, is engaging within the community to help, I guess, raise awareness of what we do and the supports that we do provide, and branching into different areas to provide a good overall service towards our clients. This is a big full list of the different services that we do. So accommodation of independent supported living, respite services, coordination of supports, community activities, work ready and therapy services, which all kind of fall on the banner of NDIS. DES, which is a big kind of cohort and a big focus of what Ability and Looker Solutions do, Job Active and Parents Next. Now, probably the biggest focus for us in terms of what we're talking about today is our DES service and how that kind of works. And it's an individualised service which it really kind of supports the process of working with our participants to get into employment. Parts of that will kind of include planning to achieve individualised goals for our participants, sitting down one-on-one with an employment consultant where they would kind of really kind of divvy down and really try and put together what needs to be done to get them into the right fit. Individualised vocational training and developing plans towards employment. So job placement's pivotal for participants that do come into the programs. It's important for us to sit down, talk to them, really understand what the right type of fit is for them. And if they're not at that stage, we can look at vocational kind of options to getting them there. Access to available employment vacancies through our larger employer partnerships. So that's one big area that we've focused on growing our footprint. My manager, Josh Grant, who really manages the bigger employer partnerships, is about kind of building awareness and building those vocational opportunities for our participants that we do have linked in the program, which focusing to a large focused marketing team that we have. Individualized one-on-one job search, resume building, interview skills. So it's really important to kind of help develop and grow our participants' job ready skills to get them to the point of employment. Access obviously to the resources and utilities that are required to getting them into there. Ongoing support is another really big part for us. So when a client or participant is successful in gaining employment, support for us really increases. So it's important for us to making sure that we're providing that one-on-one mentorship kind of support to them and the employer, making sure that they're adjusting well into work life and they're managing the role. And if any issues do come up, we're there to support them in that sense. And that can kind of continue to roll on for as long as they need that. Workplace modifications and assessments. I think Amber branched on this a little bit before. So that's another big part of what we can go in and speak to employers about potential modifications that are required to the workplace to help support and assist our participants in doing the role on site, what they're doing. And another big part of what we do is called the Work Assist program. We can actually go out to existing employers now, have current staff who have diagnosed barriers and mental health conditions that do need support. We can come out and kind of sit down and really develop a return to work plan and work with the employer and the participant to make the right type of fit for them so they maintain and keep employment. Now, I stole some stats too from our friends at A&D as well, and I think we've almost covered all these stats, but I think the important thing for me here is to really cover kind of the stats of, obviously on the representation stats of some of our participants. I'll read through them if I do apologise if we covered them before, but graduate disability takes 61% longer to gain full-time employment rather than graduates. Almost 1 in 5 people with disability age between 15 and 24 experience discrimination. In almost half of those instances, the source of discrimination is the employer. And, there's 2.1 million Australians of working age with disability. Of these, just under half were employed compared to 80%, which were without a disability. We spoke about this before. I think Sam was just talking about then about retention. So inclusive workplaces do have a bit more of a flow-on effect for staff members to stay engaged, motivated and productive and want to stay and work with that employer long-term. Improving marketing customer retention. So we spoke about the improved retention, also the research in terms of the lower absenteeism, loyalty, staff are more expected to kind of stay if they've been given that opportunity. I do have a quick video if we're happy to play this, Sam. It's a good little segue to roll into, I guess, kind of what needs to change in terms of removing the barrier within workplaces. It's ran from the Dylan Alcott Foundation, and he ran a really good campaign called Remove the Barrier, and it's a really good quick video that's quite powerful and kind of indicates what we're talking about today. So if you're happy for me, I'll just hopefully. Are we back on?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, great. So here we go. Okay, sorry about that. So what needs to change? So attitude of employees, recruitment is a big one. So looking at different styles in terms of recruiting, there's a huge talent pool of I guess participants that everybody's looking at. So it's making sure that employers are looking at the overall number of I guess participants in that talent pool that are there to be able to apply for the vocational roles that are available. Provision of appropriate support, assistance and stage process for participants and their specific needs through a tailored service for participants and employers. Inclusion of education and training providers and the result towards sustainable employment, which is, I spoke about PPS before, that's kind of with us, the support increases in an individualized style of support towards our participants when they do gain employment. So making sure, I guess, that all participants with a disability in a workplace do have that support network around them. So good collaboration of employers, support staff, families in supporting of those participants. Provision of meaningful and sustainable advice, assistance to participants and employers. Community linkages and stakeholder presence. This is a really important one too that I think, and obviously I work within as well, but it's a good access into a broader talent pool as the people with disability from a diverse range of background of skills, abilities and new valuable perspectives to the workplace gives you, I guess, a better opportunity to gain these roles. Improve customer service and attraction, being disability confident, including how to communicate with customers with disability enhances the customer service. It also enhances the reputation and brand. People view companies that hire people with disability more favorably, that we spoke about before, and stronger workplace morale and productivity through a more committed and diverse workplace. Disability confident training for employers and their employees. I do actually have a quick story about that we ran a campaign a few years ago where we teamed up with a large employer. In this case, it was the National Broadband Network, where we linked up with the diversity inclusion manager at the time to kind of increase awareness with their staff as well about the stigma of mental health and breaking that down. And we managed to develop a vocational program with youth. We partnered with, all part of a consortium with a youth program called Headspace. And what we did was we developed a 4-week vocational program that ran every Friday from 4 to 5. And each week we covered quite basic entry-level, sections of going into employment, whether that was resume building, cover letter writing, presentations, so standing up and talking about yourself and engaging in that sense, office skills, Excel, Word. And at the end of that program, they would go out, through this program too, they were buddied with a mentor from the NBN. So the actual program was ran by staff members from NBN. And at the end of that, they would go off for a 2-week work experience program, and they'd work one-on-one with their mentor in those different areas that they picked up and trained through those 4 weeks of training. And at the end of it, 1 or 2 of the youth would gain employment through NBN in that sense too. So it's a really good way for us to highlight opportunity for our youth with disability to kind of gain access into a larger organisation, at the same time raise awareness within their company of the benefits of hiring youth with the disability. Workplace modifications we spoke about before, they're really important as well, because it does give a lot of our probably high need clients with disability a bit more of an opportunity to gain and be successful in their role and be able to do the position available depending on what it is. And a personalised, individualised recruitment process, cost-free, high value, from screening the right candidate for the right role, providing ongoing support to the consumer and employer. So really good focused demand-led strategy that ability to do really well. So we kind of really make job placement is really important for us. So we need to make sure that we sit and listen and talk to our candidates and participants and make sure that we get the right type of role and employment for them, whilst trying to educate, I guess, employers and really break down that stigma of mental health. Because it is something that we do come into quite regularly in employment services. Now, the last part of the summary, in terms of many of the barriers people with disability are facing, are invisible and exist in fear, stigma, and unconscious bias. There are many opportunities in adopting increasing commitment to inclusive employment. Another case study that was provided from Ability in terms of looking at, I guess, another good news story was we've worked with a big employer named Aussie Gardening and Cleaning, and they had they were struggling finding staff members. This was actually through COVID, the first round of a large COVID last year. So we partnered up through with them, and since then, 60 candidates have been employed directly from Ability to Aussie Gardening and Cleaning. And we're now actually ambassadors, and we work in an inclusive recruitment process, and they do all their recruitment through us. And you can see a bit of the blood that Jess Clark has kind of gone through as an employer. She's always been looking to fill a job, and Ability been working really closely and made that process a lot better for her. So I guess
Shane, sorry to interrupt. Are you meant to be moving your slides on by any chance?
Because it's black. Yeah.
Well, it's just not
Denise,
moving.
are we going to have a think tank?
We are. Shane's just closing up now, Ivan. It's okay. Thanks. Yep.
Can you
Thanks,
see
Shane.
anything on my screen? Sorry, I've been flicking through.
No, that's okay. So Shane, if you just want to summarise maybe what an employer from the other side, that was a question in the chat, what can an employer do in terms of some of the ways, because that's often the biggest challenge and the resistance. So we're talking about need for change. What's some of those? Just to close out, just two things maybe.
Sorry, say the last bit again, sorry.
One of the challenges is that connecting, with employers, and the question is how do we get employers more ready and more willing, and that's what we've been talking about today. And you've talked about sort of the need for change. When you talk about a change of attitude, it really comes back to what or each of you are saying, is to review sort of some of their policies. So just in closing, what are some of the key things that you would like to leave with us? Say two key things.
Yeah, so I think it's about employment providers like Ability Options, educating employees, so coming out and actually presenting to employers and their staff, if needed, on the benefits of recruiting participants with a disability, and really kind of breaking down, because I think Sam mentioned this before, you don't know what you don't know. So it's about educating employers on the benefits of hiring participants who we've worked with and got them to the stage that they'll be ready for employment, and the benefits of them engaging and working with staff there. So
okay,
just
terrific.
breaking down, those
barriers. Thank you, Shane.